Hi there. We are back. Welcome to another episode of Developer Aligned. Today, it's a special show. This is the first time we are doing Inside Fuel Live. This is a space for community, the best highlights, technical updates, special guests, Q&A, and so on. But I might not be the best person to present this, so let me get into stage my buddy Ruben.
Am I live? Can everybody hear me? Yeah.
You are live for sure, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, welcome everybody to Inside Fuel Live. So, Inside Fuel Live is our monthly live stream series where we'll cover all things fuel. So, I'm Ruben. I'm your guide today through this show. And yeah, so whether you're a longtime follower or a new community member, there's a place for everyone here. So before we jump into our main topic, let's briefly touch base on what Fuel is all about. So, so Fuel is an innovative operating system, purpose built for Ethereum rollups. So you can see this as an operating system with a unique UTXO model that empowers rollup to tackle parallelization, state minimized execution, and interoperability. Um, so we'll talk about that further later. But yeah, um, so during this show, we will cover a few key things in the community. So going from community insights to technical updates to ecosystem highlights and also event updates and much more. And we'll also have a very special guest today from the Fuel ecosystem in DeFi, especially. And yeah, he will showcase us his latest developments and tell us all about it. So, without waiting further, before we introduce all our guests, I just want to remind you that this live stream is a series of multiple shows. Next week, you'll have a deep dive into the fuel technology. And the week after, we'll have hack stories. So yeah, just tune in for those. It's going to be super exciting for you to hear all about what's happening on fuel, technically speaking, and then hack stories. So have you been hacked? We'll have super crazy stories that will be told you by our friend called Delegation. So without waiting more, let me introduce you to our other speakers. So to start, I'd like to introduce you to Ben. So Ben is the head of DevRel at Fuel. So Ben, why don't you give us a brief intro of yourself? We can't hear you. I think you're muted.
Well, of course I'm muted because that's the rule of anything new. You just have to mute yourself. Ruben, and thank you for inviting me onto the stream. It's nice to see all of you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are in the world. As Ruben said, I'm Ben. I run the DevRel team here at Fuel. I've been at Fuel now for a few months, and it's been an amazing experience, and we have a lot to talk about in this stream, particularly when it comes to latest tech news, community news, where in the world you can find us. There is just so much going on. We can get right into that, or we could talk a little more. Ruben, what do you want to do? You want to chat? You want to talk? You want to get right into it? You tell me where you want to go. I'm all for it all. Wherever you want to take us, we'll go.
All right, let's just introduce the other speakers and then the stage is yours. So then we have Olya, who's leading ecosystem marketing. So Olya, how are you today?
Hey all, how's it going?
All good, all good. Would you
Hey
like
guys, can you
to
hear
give
me?
a brief
All
intro?
good?
Yeah, yeah, all good.
Yeah, so I'm Olia. I do ecosystem marketing. I'm a newly joined team member, and I'm struggling with my virtual background a little bit. So But yeah, it's been great, and we have a lot to cover today on the ecosystem front. Yeah, I'm great to be here.
Awesome. Thank you, Olia, for the intro. And then we have Tanya, who's leading the events at Fuel.
Hey everyone, can you hear me? Nice to meet you. I'm Tanya, head of events at Fuel. You'll see me running around all these different events. Happening next will be in Denver, so hope to see you there. Come say hi. Who should I pass it to?
Awesome, Tanya. And then let's introduce our very special guest, so Walter from Sail Exchange. Hey, Walter, how are you?
Hello, I'm great. How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing great. Yeah, the pleasure is yours. So we'll talk more with you a bit later in the show, and you'll tell us all about all your latest developments within Sail Exchange, and then we can see where this goes. All right?
Sounds good.
Perfect. So without waiting further, let's give back the stage to Ben, who will tell us all about the technical updates at Fuel. So Ben, what's going on?
What is I'm not muted this time. Look at that. Amazing. I was about to unmute my mic, but I was actually ready in advance for that.
No, you're good.
I'm good. Okay, what is going on at Fuel? So I actually want to have is Andres with us as well? Andres is in here somewhere. Let's get Andres to join us. We're gonna have a bit of a conversation, Andres, about what's going on at Fuel. A couple things. First of all, I want to bring everyone's attention to a really new tool that has come out for all of you JavaScript, TypeScript, kind of front-end developers who just want to start building your project on Fuel a little quicker, maybe a little more streamlined. We have a new thing for you, which I think you'll really like. And you may be thinking to yourself, Ben, what is this new thing that you're talking about? Tell me about it now. Well, I will tell you. You can follow that link. What is that link, Andres? What is that telling us? That is a quick start guide to start building your first contracts on Fuel. If you've ever been used to building on Fuel before, follow our quick start guides, you probably have seen that on our documentation hub. But if you click on that link, if you go directly to that link, you're going to notice actually something very different. You're going to notice a little call out box. And that little call out box, I'm going to tell you about a new NPM tool that we have, a new NPM package. Andres, do you know what I'm talking about? Do you have any idea?
Hold on, what's 1 second. Like, this is a lot of small words and characters. Let me just show you something. I
Are you going to
think
show
that
me
might do the job.
something?
Oh yeah, I have something for you.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So
What are we going to see?
this is a website called
It's a website.
docs.fuel.network.
Oof. Oof.
Then we go for the quick start contract. So there we are.
And can you
And
find that
then,
call out box?
what is this?
Ooh. Let's make your text a little bigger. Can you zoom in a bit? I want that nice
What
and
about
big.
this?
So do you see in that call out box is a command, a one-line command. Okay, friends, I don't care how experienced of a developer you are. We love you all. Whether you've been developing for a decade, whether you've been developing, this is your first week, whether it's your first day developing. Our job on Fuel is to try and make the experience fun and good and enjoyable for you. And we want to make it as easy as possible so you can start building the things that you want to build, the dApps that you want to put out into the world. And this little one-line tool, PNPM create fuels. That's all you need to type from your command line. PNPM create fuels. 3 separate words will scaffold the entire project for you. When I say scaffold a project, what does that mean? Are we building the Eiffel Tower? Are we building the Eiffel
Well,
Tower? Ruben would love to build an Eiffel Tower, but we are not building the Eiffel Tower. We're going to scaffold a fully functioning dApp, including a front end and a back end. And then your job as the developer is to customize it for yourself depending on what your needs are. What is it that you want to build? Are you looking to build a DeFi app, a gaming app? What is the kind of experience you want to build? You go in with a scaffolded project that we start off with. And I apologize, it's just the back end, not the front end. I misspoke. It scaffolds the entire back end for you. But maybe as a sneak peek to what will be coming in the future, who knows? Record it now on 13th of February, 2024. And scaffolds the entire back end for you. And all you need to do, now this is not the all, because there's a lot more to than just that, but go into the back end, go into the smart contract, and you have a fully functioning code. You can then edit it, modify it, add the features you want to add, build the tests you want to add, but you have somewhere to start. And you don't need more than what, Andres? PMPM?
Well, PMPM create fuels, but
Amazing.
I understand, like you're selling me great tools, like okay, this is so amazing, you can do magic with one command, but what's happening behind? Like
What
what's
is
going on with
happening
this?
behind? What is going
Yeah.
on? What the heck is up with that? What
Oh,
is it
look
doing
at
for
this.
you? Do you want to tell us
Ben
a little more?
equals hype. So you made the people go hyped.
Okay, so
I can
just to be
take.
fully fair, to be fully honest, this hype does not come naturally. This is two coffees. It is. I live in South Florida, so it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon right now. So 2 coffees in the morning, one energy drink during lunchtime, and now another energy drink now. And I'm going to shill an energy drink for you all. And I don't get any money for shilling this drink. I'm just shilling it to you because I like it. This is called Celsius. I don't know if you can find it in most parts of the world, but this drink is fantastic. It's got, okay, friends, it's got vitamins in it. So how can it be bad for you? It's got vitamins. I don't know what else it has in it, but it's got vitamins. So that's all we really need in life. Different flavors. It's vegetarian. It just drugs, vegetarian drugs, and vitamins, and a lot of energy. So that's how this hype comes. Okay, Andres, you were telling us what's happening on inside that tool. Tell us a little more what's happening inside that tool.
Well, I think there's two kind of people in the world: those who come from JavaScript and those who come from Rust. I have to say, I'm from the first group. I come from JavaScript.
Do you say that with
So,
pride?
oh yeah, I'm proud. But when you're trying to get into like this Rust ecosystem, like the fuel tool chain was based on the Rust developer experience. So when you start like playing around with fuel, you have to learn how to install Rust, how to install the fuel tool chain, and so on and so on. So there's few steps that you might have to do in order to get up to this moment. But what's happening behind npm create fuels?
That
Well,
is the
we are
question of the moment. What is
that's the
happening?
question. We are virtualizing the fuel toolchain. So you don't have to download anything. So it's like plug and play. You just run this command and everything is ready for you to play.
So I have to
Doesn't
tell you, I think that is one of the most amazing, phenomenal things about building on Fuel, which I really, really like. And let's just spend a second because Sandusky just said it so eloquently. But let's just underscore, underline, hype that up, emphasize it. Because what are we saying? We are saying, let's say you're not a Rust developer. Now I know that seems like a wild thing to say because the whole world is just nothing but Rust developers. But let's say you're one of those people, and you come from JavaScript or TypeScript or Ruby. You may notice my handle is hummus on Rails because everything is about Ruby on Rails. Let's say you're a Ruby developer. Let's say you come from any other background besides Rust. But we know because we've read about it, we've seen the studies, we looked at the stats, that Rust is a really fast language. It's a really type safe language. It's efficient in its memory utilization. And we want to take advantage of that for our smart contracts. But we don't understand the full Rust toolchain. Do we spend all the time learning the Rust toolchain, becoming experts in how to use Rust build tools and how to install Rust on our machine, how to get the right Rust version on our machine, how to get the right Rust tools on our machine? Or do we just do PNPM create fuels? I would take the latter. Now, I did the former. I've done that. I used to work somewhere where we had to do the former. The former is a lot to teach people, Sandusky. It's a lot to educate. it's a lot easier to get right to just PNPM create fuels. And what do you want to do at the end of the day? You want to build. You don't care about Rust so much, unless you're becoming a Rust developer. Unless you're becoming a core developer on Rust, which you should, by the way, because Rust is great. If you have the capacity and the energy for it, give back to the Rust community. But if you just want to build, then build and let us deal with all the rest. So that's the latest thing that I want to shout about, PM Create Fuels. Do you know where that comes from? It comes from a part of a bunch of recent upgrades we've kind of silently released recently. And all of you who are joining us on the stream get a little heads up that this has come out. If you go to docs.fuel.network and you look at the top right-hand corner, what do you see in a dropdown? Beta 4 and beta 5. But wait, what's a beta 5? I thought we were on beta 4.
I can't click. What's going on?
What's going on?
It's forbidden.
It's forbidden. But what's a beta 5? Sandusky, what's beta 5?
Beta 5 is one of the fuel toolchain releases. So it's like for the last 2 years, we've been building this amazing ecosystem of tools and applications and so on. And each couple months, we are releasing these betas. So basically, we have beta 5, which is the ultimate, like the latest release for all of our packages. I mean, fuel core, I mean, fork, I mean, sway, and so on. So I think it's maybe this week, maybe the next, but we are launching beta 5. Um for some people might be confusing, like, why are you launching like different kind of test nets? Well, I'm going to spill the beans. I'm going to drop the alpha. This is the last one, because after
This is the
this,
last one. Whoa. That's a mic drop
yep,
moment. You've heard it first right here on this stream. This is why to join the stream. This is why you should tell all your friends to come to the stream every week, because you get the first news before anyone else does. Right here, right now, from Sandusky. Are you drinking mate now or something else?
I'm just drinking plain water.
Plain
Yep.
water. Okay, just some Wasser. So wait, so what, I interrupted you to hype it up, but what are you saying?
Well, this is the last time we launch something called beta something. Like, I think some amazing community event is coming maybe next week, and maybe we are announcing something during that event. But the fact is that we are going with our first upgradable testnet. That's it.
Oof.
There you go. You
Oof.
got it here first.
Live on this stream, Inside Fuel Live. This is it. This is the moment. Alpha drop. That's right. Wow. Big moment. What community event may you be talking about? This big event? I'm not
Hmm.
exactly sure.
Maybe it's a place with great trekking. Maybe it
Interesting.
starts with D.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
later today we are having Tanya to tell us
Is
about it.
that like somewhere like really high up in the altitude?
Really high,
Is it near
really dry.
mountains?
Hmm. I think you're right.
Interesting. So it's like in the Alps in Austria?
Oh, not that far away. I think it's closer
Oh, so
to
not
where
as
you
far
are.
east. So somewhere more west?
Maybe North America. Maybe
So like
that's
like
Denver.
the Canadian mountains?
Oh no.
Oh wait, so which country in North America?
I'm talking about the United States.
United
I'm talking
States.
about
Oh.
Denver.
Oh, Denver. Oh, I was thinking Dallas or Detroit or Des Moines, Iowa. Oh, Denver. That's interesting. So there's some kind of event happening in Denver. Are you saying that we're going to be there?
We'll be there, but I don't want to go too fast.
Yeah,
I
I
think
understand.
somebody's coming later to tell us about that. Um, what do you think, Ben? Like, should we go straight to the big news on this event? Maybe there's something else you would like to talk about.
I think I do want to briefly mention, I did want to give an alpha drop here to all of you. If you are a developer if you write some code. And I love you all if you just started writing code last week or today, or if you started writing code 30 years ago, you're all my friends. If you started writing code and you like Fuel and you want to build fast applications that scale that make Ethereum possible at a production level, and you want to build those kind of apps, and you're interested in mentorship, learning, workshops, maybe bounty opportunities, stay focused on Fuel Socials because maybe around the same time as Denver, we'll be announcing a new developer program. You may want to join and become a developer champion. And this could be your moment. There may be money in the form of bounties. There may be workshops to skill you up and level you up, make you more hireable in the job market, perhaps, make you more skilled to build your own dApps and go out on your own. There may be learning and networking opportunities, swag opportunities, great merch. I want you to pay attention. You're listening to this, Andres? I want you to pay attention because coming next week is going to be an announcement for some new champions program. I can't say more about it now because if I did, I would just ruin the entire surprise.
Well,
But it's coming
I'm
soon.
going to hold you back there.
Good.
I don't want you to spill the beans. So
I like
maybe,
keeping the beans in the pot for now. You know,
oh yeah.
let them stir a little bit. You know, get in there, get nice and ready, ready to serve.
Well, I think we have amazing insights regarding NPM Fuels Create, but we were talking about a small, lovely town in the middle of the mountains. So I have to say you bye bye, Ben. Thank you so much for
Hi, thank
giving these
you.
insights. Um, and then I think it's time for Tanya to join us and tell us what's going on with ETH Denver. So here's Tanya. Boom.
Hey everyone. I don't know how I'm going to match that energy. I need like 5 coffees or 6 of what he's drinking. I don't know. Cool, guys. Yeah, we're going to be in Denver and we're rolling deep. We have about like 20 team members there. We'll be staying around like close to downtown. You can find us at the ETH Denver venue itself, booth 419, 419. If you can't remember it, it's next to 420. We're going to have some really cool t shirts. So come by our booth. And we'll be speaking and sponsoring at a bunch of events around town. To name a couple, Avail's Hot Take series on February 26th. We'll be there. David will be on a panel, and Modular Day on the 28th. So we're super excited about those two. And then the thing that we're most excited about is we're running our own event, Fuels Execution Day, which is happening on Saturday, March 2nd. If someone can drop the link in the chat, actually, I'm not able to join the chat for some reason, the Luma link. I'll have someone from the team do that after. So you should definitely sign up for that if you're going to be in Denver. And the idea of this event is the execution race is heating up. We want to bring together like thought leaders in the space to debate and argue on panels, have technical conversations around, the technical stack, the tech stack decisions that are being made in the space right now. So some of the teams we have confirmed for that so far: Risk Zero, Polygon Maiden, Movement Labs, Lumio, Cartesi, Aztec, and we're going to be announcing a bunch of other speakers as well. We might even have a panel of SVM versus alt EVMs to really spice up the debate. And there will be some cool swag drops happening, hoodies that we have made for this. You need to be in the room to get it. It's definitely going to be a limited supply, so make sure you're there. Shout out to Stratos and Immunify sponsoring the event and making this happen. And the event will be followed up with some drinks, of course. But yeah, for the rest of the year, we're going to be in a bunch of places this year. We'll be in Dubai for Token Things, Berlin for Blockchain Week, Berlin Blockchain Week, Brussels for ECC, and then of course, Thailand for DevCon. So that's just to name a few. Just stay tuned to our Twitter. We're going to be announcing like a full run of show of where we're going to be in Denver. So you can come say hi.
Wow.
Everyone.
Sounds
And
amazing.
yeah. Last
Oh,
thing to mention, we do have a few bounties happening in Biddle Week. I'll leave that to Ben and Deborah team to explain. But yeah, if you want to get involved, that's a good way to get involved.
well, here's the link. You can go to loom.ma
Meh.
and enroll yourself for execution day. Well, it seems Denver is getting so busy with these. Like, you can see the list of amazing projects and people joining us during ETH Denver 2024. Wow, look at this. execution day is coming, and where there's a lot of stuff happening during the year. Can we go again through this? Like you told me something about Dubai, you told me something
Yeah.
about Berlin. So why are we going these places? Why so much events going on?
I mean, there's always a lot of events going on, but yeah, given upgradable testnet end of April, we're going to be participating in a lot more hackathons after that. May, June, July, keep an eye out for that. So Berlin, of course, being such a hub for developers and hackers in the space, will be participating in yeah, Berlin Blockchain Week. We'll be in a bunch of events there. And then we're also looking at potentially ETH Prague. So also send us some shout outs if you see some cool hackathons happening around the world that you think we should be at. Drop us a line and yeah, we'll take a look. And then yeah, of course Brussels, which should be cool. I mean, I love ECC for Paris for sure, but I understand it would probably be too crowded with all of us there at once, us in the Olympics. But yeah, so I'm excited to check that out. And then Thailand, of course, I would say that's probably going to be the really fun one. There, I think we should do a hacker house. So yeah, stay
Hmm.
tuned.
You say two words I love, every developer loves, which are hackathon, hacker houses. Maybe there's something about bounties. Where
Mhm.
can I go to keep in touch with this, to keep myself informed with this great news? Like, I want to participate, I want to enroll, I want to hack. Where can I go?
That's a good question. I think right now the best place to keep track of these things is our Twitter feed, but we're going to be setting up some spaces where you can see all the events that are happening coming up at once and finding out like different ways to participate. But yeah, for now, I would say our Twitter is the best place, or X rather. Yeah.
Well, I'm hyped right now. There's a lot of things going on. If you can come, we are going to you. So, Tanya, thank you so much for
Okay.
putting these things together. I've been there. She knows how to create swag, she knows how to make nice mixing spaces. So, I hope you can meet Tanya in Denver.
Hi, if you see me in Denver.
Well, see you around, and thank you so much, Tanya.
See you guys.
I'm going to stop for a second here, Tanya. Thank you so much for
Thank you guys.
sharing these insights.
See you. Bye.
Well, I need to step down for a little bit. So I need to bring up to the stage two of my buddies. This is Ruben and this is Ben. Hello, guys. Please, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Andres. So yeah, now I just want to have Ben to put us like give us a brief intro of what to expect from the Denver hackathon. Like if you're a builder, what can you build on Fuel and what to expect? Like what kind of rewards can builder expect at the event? So yeah, can you tell us all about it?
Absolutely. So we are sponsoring two bounties at the Biddle Week at ETH Denver, which you're all welcome to participate in. And we very carefully curated two bounties that draw on different skill sets and different experience levels and different interests, because we really do want to make it as accessible as possible to the widest variety of all of you out there. So the two bounties are as follows. And by the way, there's a lot of cash on the line for these two bounties. More than $15,000. I think closer to 20, maybe exactly
Wait,
18,000,
what?
$20,000 US dollars, as long as they're worth something for now.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. The two bounties that we're talking about, let's break them down. The first bounty is, so let me take a step back. If you're familiar at all with Fuel, you understand that part of what our value is to developers is offering a modularized way of building, that breaking out and separating the concerns of one thing from the other. So we offer, when you're building out a DApp on Fuel, you can put everything you want, your entire functionality, into a smart contract. You could 100% do that, but you could also break out the different elements of the functionality in different types of code. So we have three types distinctly. We have smart contracts, we have contract code, we have scripts, and we have predicates. I'm not going to talk about the scripts for now. And contracts, I think anyone who's built anything around dApp deployment, dApp development knows what a smart contract is. But a predicate is essentially this unique type of code where it's stateless, and where you can validate whether something is true or not, essentially, off chain, validate an assertion off chain, and then post the validation on chain to be validated, right? So imagine taking out that part of your logic out of your smart contract and putting it into a predicate. What would that do for you vis-a-vis execution speed, vis-a-vis transaction speed, and your ability to scale your application to serve use cases that go beyond in the amount of transactions you need to post per second, the amount of users you're dealing with, the type of data you're dealing with. So we have offered a bounty. We're offering a bounty on building interesting use cases with predicates. And when the bounties come out from ETH Denver, you'll find a whole host of resources and documentation and guides to help you get started, because we know this is a new area. We know this is not necessarily something you know a lot about, and we want to push you a little bit to understand and explore the benefits of using predicates to make your apps that much more efficient, that much more fast, that much more powerful. So we encourage you to take a look at those resources, to use those resources, to build with those resources. We're even going to include a fully functioning dApp example with predicates, so you can understand and see it end to end what it looks like. We really want to help you there. And we're encouraging you with cash. So we hope that helps too. So build, get incentivized economically, and understand the power and value of predicates. That's bounty number one. Pretty great, by the way. If that was just it, we would say that's awesome. There's even more, though. There's a bounty number two. Ruben, you know there's two bounties?
It never stops.
It never stops. There's
How many
two
of them?
bounties. The second bounty appeals to a different type of skill set and different interests for developers. And this one is, we understand that when it comes to building a dApp, when it comes to building the application that we want users to utilize, we want people to start benefiting from, to enjoy, depending what kind of vertical or use case you're building your dApp on, we know that it's not just the back end, the contract, right? We understand that. And I know that's really hard for me to say as a back-end developer, right? Front-end code is is kind of labyrinthine to me. It's confusing, right? But even as a back-end developer, I understand that people like good front ends. They like having intuitive, designed front ends that can navigate them through the uses of the dApp, to the different various functionalities of the dApp. And so what we're offering in the second bounty is a list of, if I'm not mistaken, more than 10, maybe 15 sample application contracts fully built already. You don't have to do anything on the back end, all built with Sway, fully built, different verticals, different use cases. And we're offering a bounty to help build really good, really intuitive, really well-functioning, performant front ends for these sample applications. And this gives you the opportunity to actually play around with and experiment with our TypeScript SDK and incorporate the TypeScript SDK, build types and generate types, and use them in a really interesting like React front end or a Vue.js front end, or I don't know, name the front end JavaScript framework of the day, pick one, but like build a really, really interesting, performant, useful front end for an already created, fully functioning backend. So this could appeal to those developers who maybe don't want to spend so much time on contract development, but want to build beautiful, useful, interesting, performant front-end layers for those apps, for those applications. So that's our second bounty, Ruben. And between those two bounties, we have a lot of cash in the line, a lot of opportunities to really build and show interesting use cases and examples. It's a lot of money, $20,000. Right now, at least. I would get it before the dollar tanks, but get it now.
Who knows? Who knows? I think you were muted this time.
I'm definitely not muted. I'm never muted.
All right. Thank you, Ben. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So next on the show, we have ecosystem updates coming up. So let's bring in Olya on stage, and she'll tell us all about what's happening within the Fuel ecosystem. Let's do it.
Hey everyone. Yeah.
Olya, the stage is yours.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me? All is well.
Yeah, all good.
Great. Yeah. So before we dive into the updates, I just wanted to, for those, especially for those who are new to Fuel, sort of, kind of give an overview of the ecosystem real quick. So our current beta for testnet has truly become a home for so many cool dApps, and they are, Fuel native. They are implementing some really advanced features, things like smart contract wallets, DEXs, RWA platforms, next-gen social platforms, multi-chain oracles, and many more. But I think so. Over the last couple of weeks, we've had a bunch of very exciting stuff happening. And to get us started, I'm just gonna give a quick overview of the updates. So Fiolet is our smart contract wallet with native account abstraction, and they just released support for derivative accounts. So you can now create multiple wallets with a single seed phrase. And one feature that I really like about Fiolet is that is their hardware signer that's pretty much turning your phone enabling it to FA verification from your phone. Next up, we have Spark, which is also a Fuel native project. It's a predicate-based central limit order book, and they are about to launch their beta release, and they're now onboarding users for tests. And you can actually hop on their Discord to check it out and become an early tester. Then we have Common Ground, and it's personally, I don't know, I cannot pick favorites, but this one is really cool. So they are a Web3 community platform with a bunch of, very cool on-chain features. And you can basically, you can mint NFTs, you can create communities, and they've seen some amazing growth over the last couple of weeks. Hundreds of new communities, and you guys can check them out. We can, I guess, we can share links here or I guess later. But there are ways to find them on Twitter. Anyways, I highly encourage you guys to go check them out, and they're basically building a Discord of Web3, but much better and Web3 native. And finally, our domain service, Fuel Domains, opened up the waitlist for their name service, and you can sign up and get whitelisted. Finally, last Friday, we ran a Spaces, Twitter Spaces that talked about building next gen DeFi dApps on Fuel, and that one was pretty successful. We had a bunch of people joining. We had projects from the ecosystem coming on to talk about what they're building. And the focus there was on Fuel's predicates and UTXOs and how those enable flexibility for builders and pretty much making DeFi pretty much things like order books and AMMs and enabling more efficient things for both traders and liquidity providers. And I think one thing that stood out to me was learning about the criteria that builders are considering when choosing an L2 or even an L1 to deploy on. And something that I think again stood out was that Fuel has a really smooth DevX. It's super easy to deploy on. We have some decent liquidity for specifically for DeFi builders. And of course, the support. And thanks to our DevRel and everyone who's working with builders. So it's very easy to build on, and great UX overall. Yeah, I
Awesome,
think
Olia.
that's it on the ecosystem front. Yeah, and we have a special guest today, someone who was joining us last Friday. I guess it's on to Ruben to introduce.
Yeah, thank you, Olia, very much for all those updates. For those who weren't here last Friday for the Twitter space, I encourage you to listen to the replay because it was very, very cool. We had people from Aori, Spark, and many more other DeFi projects. And now, without waiting further, let's bring in Walter from Sail Exchange. So Walter, it's a really a pleasure to have you here with us. I know that you've been building a lot in stealth mode for the past few months, and yeah, today I guess it's your time to shine and tell us all about the Sail Exchange. So, can you tell us first, can you give us first an intro of yourself? Like, what are you doing there? And yeah, what is Sail as well?
Yeah, sounds good. So my name's Walter, as you guys know. I'm the CTO at Sail. I do a lot of writing the code and also figuring out like research stuff, like what we're trying to build. A big thing we've realized is like trying to build like this type of experience on chain, like trading, especially in like a space like Fuel where you get so many more options than you usually do, requires like putting a lot of effort into like picking like the best ways to do things, which probably doesn't look like the way things like typically look. So we're building an order book. But our order book isn't like a typical order book. It's not, we don't have our own matching engine that we're running. We're using solvers for a myriad of reasons, but we think that will probably give people the best experience possible when they're trading on Fuel and on Sail. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're building. And because we're an order book and we're using solvers, we're also an aggregator. Because these because these solvers are, one second, pulling something up. Yeah, because these solvers can aggregate liquidity from anywhere, that means that they can they also have the benefits of pulling liquidity from all sorts of places, like even sexes. So we can give people the best prices and like also places on Fuel, like the other order books and the other AMMs.
This is really cool. Let me just share a screen of your website so that
I
everybody
can
is
send you a
aware
link.
of what you guys. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I found it. Okay, perfect.
No, use
So,
I just sent. Yeah.
oh, okay. So yeah, Andres, if you can just share your screen with that link, that would be perfect. And yeah, so what have you guys been working on for the past few months? I know that Sail is a work in progress still, but it's a project that excites me a lot because there's a lot of very innovative features that are attached to it. So I'd love to hear more about it, if you don't mind.
So basically, like we're like using predicates as limit orders, and like then people can take these limit orders, anyone can, and they can match them against any other liquidity. Primarily be liquidity on our exchange, but that liquidity could look like a sex, like I said, it could look like another AMM, it could look like another order book on Fuel or anywhere else. Right now we're like trying to focus on the liquidity being synchronous, so not trying to do things that are cross-chain ideally. So not trying to like use like Hyperlane or any of these other bridging services to then like, you know, get liquidity elsewhere. But maybe in the future we'll do that, and we could use Fuel as like a settlement layer, right? We could have our own Fuel rollup, and then we could like pull liquidity from like ETH, L1, like Optimism, like wherever we want to pretty much, and just use the throughput of
An app
Sail.
chain using Fuel as the settlement layer, right?
Yeah, basically, and get
Awesome.
liquidity from everywhere, from sexes as well. And because we're using solvers, anyone can do that. And solvers like are functionally market makers in a lot of ways. That's why most of the biggest solvers are market makers, like Wintermute, for example. And so they like would be very used to the idea of like pulling liquidity from all these different places to give you like really, really good prices.
Awesome. And you guys have an SDK from what I can see on screen.
Yeah, we'll have one available.
Can you tell us about it? Like, what is it used for? What can people do with it, and so on?
Well, the easy answer is that we're going to be building some stuff ourselves that will like show how to use it. So we're building a AMM exchange integration. So like we're going to use like the Fuel Rust SDK and the Sail SDK and like just all the SDKs from the different exchanges on Fuel to integrate so people can like programmatically call in and like create orders as freely as they want. Our goal is like we realize a big thing for us is that like the success of Fuel is like the success of Sail. Like we're very much dependent on that. So we want to make it as easy as possible for people to integrate and to create products with the Fuel stack. So we'll have lots of examples in the future of how to integrate with Sail and with the Fuel Rust SDK and also the TypeScript SDK.
Awesome. Very interesting. So yeah, I think that is all, guys. What would you say is your next milestone to achieve?
I think the next big thing for us is probably it's two things at the same time. One is like getting like the AMM library to a place where we can open source it and share it with people so they can get an idea of like the things they can build with Fuel. Outside of just like from smart contract perspective, but also just like using the libraries to build out the ecosystem in terms of tooling, but also finishing up our front end, launching everything, and sharing it with people so they can start testing it. Those are our two next big things.
Nice. So yeah, very exciting to see out about that. Will you be in Denver?
I will not be in Denver, unfortunately. I'll be
Too bad.
I'll be at home working.
Okay, fair enough. So I guess that's all from the Sail team. Thank you very much, Walter, for being here with us today. And yeah, before we all go, I'd just like to highlight some of the best community content of the month. So our best community member this month has been one of our newly joined moderators. It's Alex Primark, who created some really nice tutorials. So let me just share the links here. So we're going to share a screen and see that on stage. So Alex has been doing an amazing job learning Sway from scratch. He was not even a developer in the beginning. Yeah, now today he's building his first applications with Fuel using Sway. And from what I heard, he's also joining the Developer Champions program that will be released very soon. So yeah, I would encourage to follow Alex and see all the very cool things he's doing within Fuel. And yeah, so from the next show, we'll be highlighting as well the best community contributions. So it goes from tutorials, memes, everything that you can think about that would be cool to share with the Fuel community. We'll pick the best ones every month, and yeah, you guys can see everything that's happening within the Fuel community. And somebody is asking, what is the Sail X account? Let me share the link. Here you go. Oh, cannot share the link here. But yeah, basically you go on X and you type underscore Sail Exchange and you can find it. And yeah, I think we can wrap it up. What do you think, Andres? How did it go? You're muted.
Now, yeah, there you
There we
go.
go.
Like, well, I think it's going amazing. I'm impressed by the great vibes in the comments, like a lot of great people just coming by, saying hello, a lot of people just making great questions. I'm amazed by the amount of good content, alpha information, interviews we get today. Like, it's lovely. It's always a pleasure to be with you guys. Ruben, thank you so much for making this possible. Please, all of you, don't forget we are coming next week with Deep Dive. As you might know, this is Developer Aligned, a series of shows for the modern open source contributor. We made nerding around last week. Today is um, Inside Fuel Live, and next week we are going live with Deep Dive, taking a deeper look to the fuel ecosystem, getting a premium road seat with the best of the fuel core team and ecosystem talent. It's been amazing. Like, I can wait to see you guys again next week. Is
Yeah, and
there
for me, it's gonna
anything
be
else you would
next
like to
month.
add, Ruben?
No, I guess I just like to thank you and thanks everybody in the crowd who has been here today, commenting the chat. It's been real, and it's been the first Inside Fuel Live. So there's going to be many more shows like this. If you guys liked it, just put a thumbs up on YouTube. I guess that's how we say it. And yeah, we'll see you next month for nerding around and for another episode of Inside Fuel.
Just like
Thank you,
that.
guys.
Like in 4 weeks, we will back again with Inside Fuel Live. So thank you everyone for joining in. This has been a great time together, and I hope we can see you again. Thank you so much.